So my husband wanted a pan, more like a wok, and I found this one at Value Village for $15.99. And I thought to myself, $15.99. That doesn't sound too expensive. Well, it turns out it was on half price, or a little bit more than that. So I actually got this for $7. I brought it home and I thought, yeah, this will make a great video. So it hung out downstairs by the staircase for about 2 or 3 weeks. I finished all of my projects for outdoor landscaping, and finally I got to a point where I'm like, really, Paula, just get this done. So now I'm taking off the tape, and I did a bunch of research about how to clean these. And everyone said, put the pan in boiling water with baking soda. So I looked at all of our pans, and none of them were big enough to put this into. This is a 12-inch Califon, is that how you say it? Wok. They are for sale, when they were new, for about $175. I am now taking off the sticker, and I went online to see if I could find any of these for sale, and Etsy had one for sale for about $80, and that was about it. They said they were out of stock. So after doing my research, they said that first of all, they should be very hot when you clean them. So here I am putting them in the dishwasher, and our dishwashing regular time is about 2 hours and 20 minutes, which I find very long. And I do know that people say that if you use a dishwasher, you're using less water. So that's nice that that's true, but I have a hard time believing it. But okay, I put the wok into the dishwasher, and the top, which is mostly glass, turned out amazingly well. As you can see coming up, I will put a little bit of baking soda on it, and I just dry it, and it turns out so nicely. Now, this baking soda was about half empty, and with this whole process, I used the whole thing. And maybe I'm not doing this right, but it is not as easy as all the online people say it is. I took about 2.5 hours doing this. So that is not including washing the glass top for 2 hours and 20 minutes in the dishwasher. Yeah, so that's all I did for the top. After I clean this whole thing up, I do buff it up with a dry towel, and it looks great. So the glass, great. So after I used the dishwasher, the pan was still very hot. So I put on the pan some baking soda with some very hot water. And it gets off some pretty good grease. And I was very pleased. And if I were not making videos, I would have stopped right here. But if you're making a video and you want to show the After Effects, you have to make sure it's perfect. So I was looking around my house, and I thought to myself, what do I have that's big? We have a paella pan. Now, if you're not from America or Mexico, and if you speak Spanish and you don't say paella, please let me know what you say. But I watch a lot of Australia MasterChef, and they say paella. It's not paella. Double L's are a Y sound. So it's quesadilla. It's not quesadilla. Anyway, and if you say it wrong, it's okay. You just don't know. But if you see double L's, it's a Y pronunciation. So I found this paella pan, which we have not used yet. And the reason why we bought it is because my husband loves cooking. And we went to Spain together, and he said he loved paella. And I said, oh, really? I have never had it the way it's supposed to be done. And he said, oh, really? My friends and I always make it so amazingly. And I said, do you have a crispy crust at the bottom of it that's not burned? And he didn't believe me. So I went on Gordon Ramsay's website, which, of course, Gordon Ramsay is not from Mexico either, or Spain. And so, does he know how to make paella? Well, he did also mention you should have a crispy crust, and that's very similar to dosa bibimbap in Korea. If it is made correctly, it's basically bibimbap in a stone pot, and it's rice and a bunch of vegetables and an egg on top, and gochujang, which is a kind of spicy pepper paste, which is fantastic. And if you don't have the crispy crust, it is not as good. So that's why we bought the paella pan, because I wanted my husband to show me how to make it right. Because really, I've been to Spain twice and I never had it right. The first time I went on a hike, and I never say the name right. It was the Santiago de Compostela, the Compostela de Santiago, or whatever. It's a Catholic trail that you end up on the coast at a cathedral, and I went for 20 days. I lost a bunch of weight, which was great. But on the way, I stopped at places out of the way thinking that their paella would be amazing, and it's not amazing, not at all. So back to the video. I am now putting the pan in boiling hot water, putting baking soda in it over and over again. And I put water inside to help stabilize it, as well as make sure it's, if I see any little things that need to be cleaned off in there. So anyway, I disagree that it's so easy to clean this pan with just boiling water and baking soda. Or the case may be that I don't have a pan that's big enough, so I couldn't have let it stay there for like 30 minutes or so. The longest time I kept it on the pan was about maybe 5 minutes. And I didn't want to hurt the paella pan. So then I also thought to myself, who has a pan that they want to put a dirty pan into? Then you have to clean that pan as well? So anyway. The inside, as you can see right here, looks fantastic. And if you saw the beginning of the video, you might have noticed it wasn't that horrible. It was very easily cleaned with baking soda, hot water, and I also have a Mr. Clean white spongy sponge that is for removing grease. And if you were to use that alone every time you cleaned, it would do an amazing job. And it did clean a lot of the surface grease off of this pan. And then I wondered to myself, here's me being judgmental, who makes a pan this dirty? And I moved to China with my husband, and our second place we lived in was a city called Suzhou. And we had some really lovely American friends who went to an organization that met some lovely, nice Chinese people. And the Chinese people, the wife was moving to another city to be with her husband, and the son was moving to the UK to finish his master's degree. So for about 2 years, they didn't need their apartment. So our lovely American friends told us about this place, and we moved in. And that is where I find it very interesting that in America, when you move into a house or apartment, it's supposed to be spotless. In many countries, when you move into a place, no, it's not spotless. You clean it up. And that's the same in Korea when I moved to the apartment, and in the United Arab Emirates when I moved into the apartments, and in China. So I am not doing anybody dirty. And also in an apartment in America for graduate school, I moved into an apartment. I walked in, I'm like, this place is really dirty. I told the guy who rented the place, he said, well, if you want to clean it up, we'll take it off of your bill. I'm like, yeah, there was melted cheese, not cheese, butter in the refrigerator. Disgusting. Anyway, I digress. So, when we moved to the place in China, we cleaned up all of the broken stuff, all the old food, and there was an IKEA pan similar to this, but it was more of, it was not a wok. It was more of a normal kind of pan, and it was caked with grease and slimy stuff, even in the inside. So I looked online and it said just boil baking soda, it will get rid of it, and it did. And I cleaned the whole inside of the pan out, but because I didn't have a video for it, nor was I going to keep it for myself, the outside pan was as bad as this pan, and I just said, okay, no problem. It's clean enough for me, no problem. Great. And when we left the apartment, the owners of the apartment messaged my husband and thanked us profusely because I painted the walls and we kept the floors very clean because we don't wear shoes in our house if it's only us. And I cleaned all of the countertops off. And yeah, I'm a little bit not crazy because that's a negative connotation. I like to live in a place that seems tidy and clean, and everything has its place. So, for example, in the apartment that we lived in, there were 2 bedrooms, and one of the bedrooms belonged to a young man, and there was a desk in there. Well, the desk had no space whatsoever to move around, so we moved it into the living room, dining room area, so our dining room became larger, which I thought was great. And there was a bunch of really cool artwork that was underneath a mattress. So we hung that up, and it was a very, very beautiful area. There was probably about 24 apartment complexes that had 10 floors each, and each floor had about 10 apartments. And we walked everywhere, so, traffic was no problem for us. But I was amazed that so many cars that were parked in the parking lot underneath. And we would walk in the parking lot when it was raining because, of course, it's covered. So anyway, I liked living in China very much. Great food, very nice local people. I won't say anything about the government, but I just thought it was really interesting. And I'm very happy I lived there for 4 years. So I'm scrubbing. I not only used the method that everybody says, which is the baking soda in boiling water. I also used Mr. Clean sponges for grease in the kitchen. And I used steel wool, not stainless, steel wool with soap on it, which may be this right now. And then I was looking and I found some oven cleaner that supposedly you put on your oven for how long? A minute? Right. So I did that twice. I don't see anything that happened whatsoever. And then I was looking around for more things that I could use, and I found a copper cleaner. Because a long time ago, my mom bought copper cleaner for the copper bottom pans that she had. And, oh my goodness, works so well. So you can see on the left-hand side, that burn spot was not coming off. And, yeah, not amused. But the inside looks great. Now, after I washed these pans, the yellow gloves I'm using right here, they were leaking. Oh, here's the 1 minute oven cleaner. You're supposed to shake this well, and then you put the liquid on a moist or dampened cloth, and you put it on the pan. And I waited for more than a minute. And it says, if it doesn't work, then try it again. And maybe it's old. I didn't check the date on here. It was never opened before. So, and then also I found it weird. There's a spray top bottle for it. It doesn't say spray it. It says put it on a damp or moist towel. And yeah, it didn't work. Did it twice. Used hot water. Anyway. Now, I just said the word moist. And that's funny because I have friends who have different words they hate. I have a really good girlfriend who hates the word flesh. I have no problem with that word. And another friend who hates the word moist, which I have no problem with that because I think moist cake, that's a delicious thing to have. I actually like the word linoleum. If you think about it, linoleum. If you say it slowly, it sounds very nice. So there are no words in the English language that I do not like. I think it's funny that people don't like certain words, but... Oh, another word is crotch. People hate. And I don't know another word that you would use besides that word. So anyway, think about what words you like and dislike. And I like all words, but I like linoleum the most. Linoleum. So I'm reading the directions again because I'm like, really? I waited for more than a minute each time. Now, in my left hand, I have a reusable towel, and I believe it's from Earth Breeze, and I am not a sponsor. It is a company that sell detergents with no extra water, so everything is kind of like a moist piece of paper that you put in your laundry. And I've been using it. So I'm saying 1 minute. There we go. I'm so clever. So you put it in your washing machine, and I have given it to 3 friends, and they have all said they like it so much. I got a deal where I bought a whole year's supply for $119, and I got a whole bunch of these little reusable towels, and all you do is you use them and then you wash them in the washing machine. Then you let them dry naturally, and they are so great. So we use a lot fewer of the hand towels that are paper, cotton, whatever they are, that are disposable. And my goal is to never use disposable things if you can reuse them. And that's why this pan, I would think, would be so great. But if you watch how I am doing this, there is so much water being used. This is the boiling water that I use to boil it in. And so many chemicals. And I watched a TED Talk about trying to be environmentally friendly. And this woman was talking about, so she has a new house and she put a water collector underneath the kitchen. So here's the second time I'm doing the supposed oven cleaner. Did not work in my opinion. And so it has to be held with no light coming through. And then she contemplated, should she have paper towels? Should she have cloth towels? If you use a cloth towel, how much more water does it use to wash it rather than just dispose it? And those are the things, if I think too much, make me crazy. And for me, I thought this was a really fun experiment. And I don't think I would ever buy anything this dirty again. just because it took me about 2.5 hours and all this water. And yeah, then again, it was $7. Maybe after tax, it was like $7.50. And I think I got a coupon for a discount. So all in all, it was really cheap. But you don't know what it was used for before you. And I did not use any harsh chemicals inside it for cooking in the future. And I did wash it in the dishwasher. And really, I was thinking, let's just let this get done with, because it was taking so much time. So on a spectrum from 1 to 10, how clean do you think you are? So I would think I'm an 8, because I like things looking clean, and I don't, dust to a point doesn't bug me if everything is uniformly dusty so you can't tell. But if you move something and then you can see the dust, that drives me crazy. I do like bathrooms to be clean, and I do, when I go walking in town, I do pick up garbage as I go. So now here are the used gloves, which I did throw away. That the reason why is because they were disintegrating and my hands were really, really wet. That seems crazy to me. So do you ever pick up garbage? It's pretty funny. There's a place called Fred Meyer here in town, and there are a few of them actually. And one day my husband and I parked in the parking lot, and there was garbage right by the bus parking area. So I just picked it all up, and some guy who was waiting for the bus said, "Thank you." And I'm thinking to myself, why didn't you pick it up? So I'm not a germaphobe at all. I will clean up anything, and I do know I should be wearing gloves when I do things. But yeah, I clean up as I go. I clean up other people's stuff. And if everybody just cleaned up a little bit, it'd be so great. So then I found Comet in our closet. And this is more for bleaching, and it didn't really do much help. There was a little bit of residue that came off of the bottom of the pan, but it didn't work that great. So when I was a kid, there was a song about Comet. And let's see, Comet. Okay. It tastes like gasoline, Comet. Na 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 na. Comet will make you vomit. So why don't you try Comet? Da 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 today. I can't remember the whole song, but anyway, there was a funny song about Comet. So I tried it, didn't really work very well, and I put it back in the cleaning area. So when I built or I redid the kitchen, there is a little pantry area that's just for cleaning supplies. But underneath the sink, there is a cleaner that is for copper bottoms of pans. And that's what actually it was so easy to get rid of all of the bottom part. Which then did make me wonder, is it bad to get rid of all of the coating of the bottom? Do you want all your pans to look brand new? Yeah, so I don't really know much about pan usage except for skillets, iron skillets. Those I know you're supposed to never use soap. Just use hot water to clean them off and then put oil on them to keep them moist. Moist. So, yeah, look at how much better that looks. But no, I can't give up yet. I must continue. I really used it again. Really, Paula? Give it up. Comet. It'll make your teeth turn green. Comet. It tastes like gasoline. Comet will make you vomit. So you should try Comet da-na-na today. Yeah, there are so many funny little jingles as a kid that I don't that I don't hear any kids saying anymore. Like, Alice, where are you going? Upstairs to take a bath? Alice, with legs like toothpicks and a neck like a giraffe. Da, 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 da. This is what we used. This is what I used that actually did work. And it's not for stainless steel. It's for copper. Don't use it on the inside. And yeah, this is pretty amazing. Now, if you've watched previous videos, you will have seen that I redid most of the kitchen so far. I still have the upper and lower cabinets on the left side of the kitchen. But this is the old kitchen sink that we've had since the 80s. And stainless steel really works well. If you clean it, it's really nice looking. Yeah. And then there was a song like, say, oh, playmate, come out and play with me. Da, 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 da. Climb up the apple tree. Slide down my rain barrel into my cellar door. And we'll be jolly friends forevermore, more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Any of you people play this game? Yeah. Now, I have no kids. I have no idea what kids do nowadays, but I haven't heard anybody who I know who ever talk about those old songs, which I find funny. Now, when I'm cleaning this, I'm wondering to myself, should I do the whole thing? Should I do only the bottom part? Will it look scratchy? But I really think that this copper cleaner does a really incredibly good job. And I am using the steel wool that used to have soap on it to clean it. So that also is helping me as well. And my hands did not get hurt at all. When I use the 4/0 steel wool for doing furniture things, it's a lot different feeling than the steel wool that you use for cleaning in the kitchen. I should do some research about who made up steel wool, because I very much appreciate it. And it's funny, it's called steel wool. Okay, steel wool. What? Wikipedia. Okay, it's also known as iron wool or wire wool. And I just moved my computer, so all the information went away. So sad. All right, let's see what it says. Steel wool. So you can see it's pretty much going away now. Okay, wire wool or wire sponge is a bundle of very fine and flexible, sharp-edged steel filaments. It was described as a new product in 1896. It is used as an abrasive in finishing and repair work for polishing wood and metal objects, cleaning household cookware, cleaning windows, and sanding surfaces. Amazing! 1896. Steel wool is made of low-carbon steel in a process similar to broaching, where a heavy steel wire is pulled through a toothed die that removes thin, sharp wire shavings. Look how beautiful that looks. Look how clean and shiny. Oh, look at that bottom part. Oh my goodness, only $7, normally like $170 originally. Can you believe it? I know, it is shocking. It's amazing. I hope you liked my lovely before and after. The oven it's sitting on was built in 1960 and it's still being used. It's a Frigidaire. Please subscribe if you haven't, and have a great day. Bye-bye.